From faking cancer to staging a hate crime and setting a talk show set on fire, some celebrities crossed lines that no one could ignore. Their shocking actions played out in front of the world, leaving their reputations in ruins. Here are 20 celebrities who destroyed their career on camera and how they lost it all. Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson faced major backlash after an interview where he shared a troubling story from his past. He spoke about a time when someone close to him was sexually assaulted by a black man.
I was away and I came back and she told me she had been raped.
He admitted that after hearing about it, he walked the streets, filled with anger, looking for a fight. He said he wanted to harm a black man out of rage,
so that I could kill him. And it took me a week, maybe a week and a half to kind of go over that.
Later, he realized how wrong his thoughts were and felt deep shame. The reaction was immediate. Many called him racist for even having such thoughts, despite him admitting that he regretted them.
To a time in their life when they allowed their anger and hatred to fester into a racism that they're ashamed of.
Some celebrities like Trevor Noah and Whoopi Goldberg defended him, saying that he was simply being honest about his past mistakes. Fans were divided, and the controversy followed him for a long time. Some found it difficult to watch his movies the same way again. Martin Lawrence. Martin Lawrence was one of the biggest comedy stars of the 1990s. In 1994, he was invited to host Saturday Night Live, a major opportunity for any comedian. However, what should have been a career highlight quickly turned into disaster. He was permanently banned from Saturday Night Live after delivering an opening monologue that went too far.
And I was like, when I'm gonna get my chance? When I'm gonna get my chance? But damn it, now it's my chance.
Known for his raw and unfiltered comedy, he pushed the boundaries that night, making crude remarks about personal hygiene and bodies of women. His jokes were not just inappropriate, but went into explicit detail.
The ladies in the 90s have license to cut off the pilly packers.
At one point, he went on about how women should take better care of themselves, describing things in a way that was both offensive and unnecessary. He used vulgar language to talk about relationships and made uncomfortable comments that crossed the line for live television.
I gotta say something. Some of you are not washing your properly.
The monologue became so outrageous that NBC had to cut it from all future airings, replacing it with a disclaimer explaining why it was removed.
Although we at Saturday Night Live take no stand on this issue one way or the other.
This incident had serious consequences for Lawrence. Saturday Night Live banned him from ever appearing on the show again, and the controversy followed him for years. Giuliana Rancic. Giuliana Rancic became one of the most talked about people on E's Fashion Police, but not for a good reason. During a segment about the 2015 Academy Awards, she made a comment about hairstyle of Zendaya that caused major controversy. She said dreadlocks of Zendaya made her look like she smelled of patchouli oil or weed. Many people saw this as an offensive stereotype. Zendaya quickly responded on Instagram. She said there was a big difference between making a joke and being disrespectful. She explained that she wore her natural hair to celebrate its beauty and felt disappointed by words of Rancic. The post gained huge support online, and people started calling out Rancic. Rancic apologized, first on Twitter, saying she never meant to offend anyone. Later, she gave a statement, admitting that her words had hurt people. She promised to do better and avoid promoting stereotypes.
I've learned it is not my intent that matters, it's the result.
Rancic also blamed editing for making her comment sound worse. However, the damage was done.
In the editing process, some of the gestures I made, some of the things I said were taken out for time.
Ezra Miller. A shocking video gone viral showing Ezra Miller in a heated moment with a female fan at a bar in Iceland. The short clip captured Miller asking the woman if she wanted to fight.
Learn it? Did you want to fight?
At first, she seemed to play along, but things took a disturbing turn when Miller suddenly grabbed her by the neck and pushed her against a truck and then on floor.
Is that the deal? Whoa, bro. Fight? You want to learn it?
The person recording the video seemed surprised, and the clip ended quickly.
Whoa, bro. Fight?
This incident caused outrage, but it was only the beginning. More controversies followed. Miller was later arrested multiple times for disorderly conduct, burglary, and harassment.
I'm being arrested for disorderly conduct?
Yeah.
Okay. I was assaulted, you understand, right?
Okay.
As these controversies grew, so did the impact on career of Miller. Warner Brothers faced pressure regarding The Flash, a major film led by Miller. While the movie was released, it struggled at the box office, and many believe actions of Miller played a role. Joan Rivers. Joan Rivers had a strong connection with The Tonight Show, appearing frequently and even serving as a guest host in absence of Johnny Carson. Their professional bond seemed solid, but in 1986, everything changed. Rivers accepted an offer from Fox to host her own late-night talk show, making her a direct competitor to Carson.
Fox was starting the network, and they approached us, Rupert Murdoch and Barry Diller.
The real problem was not just competition, but the fact that she did not inform Carson before the public announcement. When she called to tell him, he immediately hung up on her. She tried calling again, but he refused to speak to her. Rivers later explained that NBC had been avoiding any clear discussions about whether they would renew her contract. She felt uncertain about her future with the network, as they kept delaying a definite answer.
Totally renewed me. They were in shock when I left.
Meanwhile, Fox was in the process of launching its own network and saw an opportunity. They approached her with an offer that seemed too good to refuse.
When $15 million meant something, which was just over the moon money.
They promised her everything she already had at NBC, along with a 5-year contract and a significant financial deal worth $15 million, a life-changing amount at the time. Carson never talked to her again, and she was permanently banned from The Tonight Show. Jimmy the Greek. Jimmy the Greek was a well-known sports commentator. He worked for CBS and often shared his opinions on football. However, one interview in 1988 ruined his career. A reporter asked him about Martin Luther King Jr. Day and the progress of black people in society.
Was asking questions about Martin Luther King's birthday and the progress blacks have made in society.
At first, he spoke about fairness, but then he made comments that shocked many. He claimed that if black people started coaching more, there would be nothing left for white people in football. He also said that almost all players were black, and the only jobs left for white people were coaching positions.
All the players are black. The only thing that the whites control is the coaching jobs.
His comments spread quickly, and people were angry. Many called the TV station to complain. CBS had a tough decision to make. The network faced pressure to take action. Soon after, CBS fired him, Joaquin Phoenix. Joaquin Phoenix had already built a strong acting career, but his 2009 interview on a late-night talk show confused many. When he appeared on show of David Letterman, he looked very different. He had a thick beard, wore sunglasses, and spoke in a slow and awkward manner.
You've got a nice beard going, and
oh yeah, thank you.
How is that, the beard?
His behavior was strange, and people could not tell if he was serious or joking. During the interview, Letterman tried to ask simple questions, but Phoenix gave short and odd answers. When asked about his beard, he seemed uncomfortable.
I'm okay with it, but now you're making me feel weird about it.
I'm sorry, I'm making you feel weird about it?
When Letterman praised his acting in a recent film, Phoenix barely responded.
And you were terrific in the film. I really enjoyed your work.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Instead, he mentioned that he was quitting acting to focus on hip-hop music, which surprised the audience. Letterman made jokes, and the crowd laughed. But Phoenix remained quiet and emotionless.
I'm hopeful that you will reconsider and come back to acting, because you're just, nobody really better than you are.
After the interview, many believed he was having personal struggles. His behavior seemed so unusual that Hollywood distanced itself from him.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Oh yeah, Gwyneth Paltrow, Vanessa Shaw.
Later, it was revealed that this was all part of a planned act for a mockumentary film called I Am Still Here. However, the damage was real. Many studios stopped offering him roles, and it took several years of great performances to fix his reputation. Rachel Zegler. Rachel Zegler quickly became a rising star after starring in West Side Story in 2021. But her career took a hit when controversy surrounded her role in Disney live-action Snow White. While many fans were already skeptical about the remake, comments of Zegler about the original animated classic upset even more people. In an interview, she criticized the 1937 film, saying it was outdated and needed a modern approach. She dismissed the love story between Snow White and the Prince, claiming that the character should focus on leadership instead. She even joked about removing the prince entirely, calling him a stalker.
With a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird.
Fans of the original movie were not happy with her statements, arguing that she showed no respect for the classic. The backlash grew worse when Ziegler admitted she had never been a fan of Snow White, saying she watched it once as a child and never liked it. Many questioned why she accepted the role if she disliked the original so much. Her attitude during interviews only fueled the criticism, and fans started calling for a boycott of her films, including the Hunger Games prequel. What was supposed to be a career-defining role ended up hurting her reputation. Vanilla Ice. Vanilla Ice was a huge star in 1990 with Ice Ice Baby, but his success did not last. His music career started to fall apart after a few failed songs. Then, a shocking moment on MTV made things even worse. In 1999, he was invited to 25 Lame, a show where comedians made fun of bad music videos.
And these ones you'll never ever see again because we will, I guess, destroy them.
Instead of just laughing at his own video, he was given a baseball bat to destroy the Ice Ice Baby tape.
Rob, ladies and gentlemen. Otherwise known as Vanilla Ice.
How are you? I didn't know it was Robert.
At first, he smashed it as expected. But then, he lost control. He started wrecking the entire set, breaking tables and sending things flying.
Funny you give me a hammer.
At one point, he looked like he was going to swing the bat at Jon Stewart. The hosts were shocked, and Janine Garofalo even curled up in fear.
Let's watch a little bit. Okay, let's watch a little bit of you, and then you can destroy yourself.
After the show, people did not see this as a fun joke. Many thought he was angry and bitter about his career fading. That wild moment on MTV became one of the biggest reasons his career never recovered. Sean Connery. Sean Connery sat down for an interview with Barbara Walters in 1987. The conversation started casually. They talked about friendship, golf, and his personal life.
The pleasures of golf as well. I'm not mad. I don't like playing golf with women.
Then the interview took a serious turn. Walters reminded Connery about a past statement where he said it was not the worst thing to slap a woman.
And as I remember, you said you don't do it with a clenched fist, it's better to do it with an open hand.
She asked if he still believed that. Connery calmly responded that his opinion had not changed.
And
I didn't love that.
I haven't changed my opinion.
You haven't?
No.
Walters seemed surprised and asked him to explain. Connery said that sometimes if a woman would not stop arguing, a slap might be necessary.
I think that it depends entirely on the circumstances and if it merits it.
He claimed it should not be with a clenched fist but an open hand. Walters asked what he would do if a woman hit him back. Connery laughed and said that would be a different situation.
Well, then you get into another area. I mean, then maybe she's getting to like it, and then it becomes something else. I don't know.
His words shocked many people. This interview became one of the biggest controversies of his career. Even years later, people used it as proof that he had outdated and unacceptable views on women. Michael Jackson. In the Living with Michael Jackson documentary, one of the most controversial moments happened when Michael Jackson sat with 13-year-old Gavin Arvizo at Neverland Ranch. The interview took a turn when journalist Martin Bashir asked about the children who had stayed at home, particularly in his bedroom. Bashir questioned whether it was appropriate for an adult man to have sleepovers with unrelated children.
Children from other families have come and they've stayed in your house.
Jackson responded by saying he felt sorry for people who saw something wrong in it. He insisted that sharing a bed was an act of kindness and love, not anything inappropriate. He explained that he would often offer his bed to the children while he slept on the floor, believing it was the most generous thing he could do.
How do you respond to that?
I feel sorry for them because that's judging someone who wants to really help people.
When Bashir pressed him further, asking if the children could have stayed in a separate room, Jackson admitted there were guest rooms, but claimed the kids always preferred to stay with him. The interview caused a massive backlash, leading to increased scrutiny and eventually playing a role in the 2005 trial. The controversy followed him for the rest of his life, and financial troubles only made things worse until his passing in 2009. Belle Gibson. Belle Gibson became famous as a wellness influencer after launching her app, The Whole Pantry in 2013. She also published cookbooks, gaining a large following. Her brand was built around health and natural living, but then she made a shocking claim. She told people she had multiple cancers and was treating them through healthy eating and alternative medicine. Many trusted her story and supported her.
Tested for ovarian cancer. I no longer have cancer in my uterus.
However, in 2015, questions started to rise. People began to doubt her claims and rumors spread that she had never been sick.
In supporting Belle Gibson, who she now believed was a cancer faker.
She also promised to donate money from her business to charity, but investigations found that the donations never happened. As more pressure built, she gave an interview to the Australian Women's Weekly, where she finally admitted she had lied. She said her difficult childhood played a role in her actions, but the damage was done. Her career collapsed instantly. People who had once believed in her felt betrayed. In 2017, she faced legal consequences and was fined $410,000 for misleading the public. Her downfall was one of the biggest influencer scandals, proving that lies can destroy even the most successful careers. Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise has been involved in several moments that changed how people saw him. One of the most famous was his interview with Peter Overton. The reporter asked if Nicole Kidman was the love of his life. At first, Cruise gave polite answers, saying he wanted Kidman to be happy and that he planned to marry again.
Question. She's someone that I plan on getting married again.
But as the questions about his past relationship continued, he lost patience. He told Overton that he was crossing a line and needed to take responsibility for his own curiosity instead of blaming others.
Listen, here's the thing, Peter. Yeah. You're stepping over a line now. You're stepping over a line. You know you are.
Then came the moment that stood out the most. Cruise told the reporter to put his manners back in. Many saw this as rude and aggressive. Another moment that made headlines was his interview with Oprah Winfrey in 2005. Instead of sitting and answering questions normally, he jumped on the couch, shouted, and grabbed hands of Oprah.
You know, Katie once told 17 magazine, yes!
He was excited about his new relationship with Katie Holmes, but his over-the-top behavior shocked many. Oprah even joked that he had gone. This interview became one of the most mocked moments in talk show history.
I can discuss with her personally, but you know.
After these incidents, people started seeing Cruise differently. Many thought he was acting strangely, and some even began to dislike him. Will Smith. The Oscars stage became the center of controversy when Will Smith walked up and slapped Chris Rock in front of a live audience. The shocking moment happened after Rock made a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith's shaved head, referencing the movie G.I. Jane. Jada, who has alopecia, did not look amused. At first, Smith laughed at the joke, but seconds later, he stormed onto the stage and slapped Rock.
Oh, wow!
As Smith returned to his seat, he shouted twice, telling Rock to keep name of Jada out of his mouth. The mood in the room completely changed. Rock, trying to keep the show moving, looked stunned, but handled the situation professionally.
Name out your mouth! Wow, dude! Yes.
However, the damage was done. The Academy banned him for 10 years, and many in Hollywood distanced themselves from him. His once unstoppable career took a major hit, with projects getting delayed or canceled. Bobcat Goldthwait. Bobcat Goldthwait was no stranger to chaotic behavior on talk shows, but his appearance on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno in 1994 was one of the most reckless moments of his career. Goldthwait had been making headlines not for his comedy or acting, but for destroying late-night sets. When Jay Leno introduced him, the audience already knew something outrageous might happen. During their conversation, Goldthwait did not seem remorseful. Instead, he joked about needing to go nuts to stay relevant during rating season.
No, I gotta go nuts! No, you don't have to go nuts. I know I have to go nuts!
He sarcastically called himself a great role model for children, adding that kids needed more figures like him.
Well, do you see yourself as a role model for our young people? I think I'm an excellent role model for children.
Then came the most shocking moment. He pulled out lighter fluid and a lighter, setting his chair on fire. Leno and the crew reacted in shock, demanding that he sit in the burning chair. Goldthwait refused, trying to play off the situation.
Sit down. down. Sit down. I'm not sitting in it. Sit in that chair.
The fallout was immediate. The stunt was not just for laughs. Authorities did not take the stunt lightly. The city attorney of Burbank charged him with unlawfully starting a fire and carrying a flammable substance with the intent to cause damage. Each charge carried the possibility of a $2,700 fine. Prince Andrew. Interview of Prince Andrew with BBC Emily Maitlis turned into a disaster, leading to his decision to step away from royal duties.
Staying at the house of a convicted sex offender.
The discussion focused on his connection to Jeffrey Epstein, a convicted sex offender. Instead of distancing himself from Epstein, Prince Andrew tried to justify their relationship by saying it gave him beneficial opportunities. That statement alone did not sit well with the public.
It was a convenient place to stay.
Things got worse when he denied ever meeting Virginia Roberts, one of accusers of Epstein, even though a widely circulated photo showed them together. His attempts to explain himself only made matters worse. Many saw the interview as an attempt to dodge responsibility rather than provide honest answers. Businesses and organizations started cutting ties with his charities. The royal family, wanting to control the damage, announced that he would no longer take part in public duties. Jussie Smollett. Jussie Smollett was a well-known actor from the TV show Empire. But in 2019, he became famous for something else. He told police that two masked men attacked him late at night in Chicago. He claimed they used racist and homophobic slurs, poured liquid on him, and put a rope around his neck.
Right now, there's no reason for us to think that what he's...
Many people, including celebrities and politicians, showed support for him. But as police investigated, they found problems with his story.
described to us isn't in fact what happened, you know, and it's a horrendous.
Two brothers were arrested, and they told police that Smollett had paid them $3,500 to fake the attack. They said he wanted more public attention and hoped it would help him get a better salary on Empire.
Smollett paid $3,500 to stage this attack and drag Chicago's reputation.
Smollett was later found guilty of lying to the police. He was sentenced to jail and community service. His career quickly fell apart, and he was removed from Empire. Even Donald Trump reacted to the case, tweeting, "What about MAGA and the tens of millions of people you insulted with your racist and dangerous comments?" Career of Smollett has never recovered, and many in Hollywood have distanced themselves from him. Paula Deen. In 2013, her career took a massive hit when a lawsuit led to a shocking revelation. During a legal deposition, she admitted to using racial slurs multiple times in the past. She also confessed to considering a plantation-themed wedding, an idea that many found highly offensive.
They're beginning to chip away at that brand equity, and now we're beginning to question.
The backlash was immediate, and the controversy only grew worse when she appeared on the Today Show to address the situation. Instead of taking full responsibility, she painted herself as a victim, claiming she was unfairly judged. She did not offer a strong apology during the interview, only mentioning an earlier apology video. Many viewers felt she lacked sincerity, which made things even worse for her reputation.
He had spent the night with me, and I allowed him to stay up later than his bedtime.
As the outrage spread, major companies that had worked with her for years decided to cut ties. Brands like Walmart and Food Network distanced themselves, leading to a sharp decline in her career. Jesse Eisenberg. Jesse Eisenberg, known for his roles in Zombieland and Now You See Me, was loved by many for his quick-witted performances. He even earned nominations for big awards like the Academy Award and the Golden Globe. However, outside of movies, he gained a reputation for being rude, and one interview made things much worse.
Freeman? Yeah, what, do you want a baseball team with him?
During an interview with Romina Puga, behavior of Eisenberg shocked many. He made sarcastic comments about her way of asking questions and even teased her for writing notes on her hand.
Questions?
No.
Are you secretly hiding questions for the interview?
At one point, when she jokingly asked him to move faster, he responded with, "Hey, you are on my time."
Hey, you're on my time. Okay.
The reporter later said the experience was humiliating and made her uncomfortable.
I was actually hoping to stay alone.
Such a jerk.
Yeah.
After the interview spread online, many people called him rude and arrogant. His reputation suffered, and audiences found it harder to support him. Sean Combs. A security camera captured Sean Combs assaulting his then-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, in a Los Angeles hotel hallway. Years later, the release of this footage raised serious concerns about his behavior and personality. The video starts with Ventura exiting a hotel room, seemingly trying to leave.
Against music mogul Sean Combs.
He quickly reaches Ventura and aggressively grabs her. Without hesitation, he throws her to the floor. As she lies helplessly, he kicks her twice.
A hallway at a Los Angeles hotel in March 2016.
He then picks up her belongings and forcefully drags her back toward the hotel room. Ventura later tries to use a hotel phone near the elevators, possibly to call for help. Combs briefly walks away but returns, corners her, and appears to strike her again. The footage ends with him sitting near the elevators and throwing a vase across the hallway.
He grabbed her and then took glass vases in the hallway and threw them at her.
This shocking video deeply damaged the image of Combs. Many questioned his personality and past behavior. His recent controversies seem to have ended his long-standing career. Some mistakes can be fixed, but these careers were never the same again.